know, tonight is a very special night in the life and history of Bebensee Elementary School. It gives me a great pleasure to serve at this school as the principal of Bebensee Elementary. Since day one, it has been a delight. And when friends of mine in my life ask me about how's it going, how's it been going, how does it feel to be a principal, they are kind of thrown aback when I tell them I love it, and I love it with a passion. I wake up every day excited about coming to this school, and that's no fib. I love the work that I do. One of the things that we've been planning this event for over a year now as a campus. All of our staff, they've all jumped in and they've lended a hand in every way. The community, we have partners who've come in and participated in bringing this night together. We've had many people who have called and just said, what can I do to help? I'll be here. This community is simply outstanding as far as it goes supporting this school. When I first arrived on this campus, I cannot tell you the number of phone calls I got from the community just saying, can we come in and help? I have 3 churches who called me and said, whatever you need, call us, we'll do it. I am so excited about that kind of support for raising and teaching our children and preparing them for the world to come. Thank you so much for all that you do for Bebensee, because everyone standing in here in some way, shape, form, or fashion had something to do with 30 years of existence and 30 years of successful education to our youth in our community. Thank you for what you do every day to keep us the air under our wings. Thank you. You are the air. So in our planning, the committee got together and we needed to find someone that was related to or connected to Mr. L.R. Bebensee in some way. As one of our students said, Lily, she's one of our students that's been here since she was a little girl. When she met this family yesterday, they came to tour our building, she said, finally, somebody who knows Mr. Bebensee, and we were just thrown off that she could even think that way. But the children see his picture when we come into the school every day. He is the namesake of the building. So we reached out as a staff and as a faculty to everyone we could think of. And I happened to be sitting in my dentist chair at an appointment, and he asked what was going on at the school, and I talked about that a little bit, and he said, I know some people who knew L.R. Bebensee, and I just, really? And he goes, yes, I'm going to give you a few names and phone numbers. And that led us to Mr. Bebensee's closest living relative. His niece is Jennifer Rhodey, and we were able to reach out to her all the way in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. She and her husband drove all the way, it gives me chills, to Arlington, Texas, to be here tonight. Mr. and Mrs. Rhodey, would you please come forward? I am so thankful for Google. We were able to do a little Googling, and we were able to find Jennifer Rhodey. Jennifer is Mr. Bebensee's niece. She's the closest living relative. And she thought enough of us to drive down and spend, they've been here a week, and I'm talking about the most delightful couple. They have just been a blast. They came and spent some time with us yesterday touring the school for their very first time. They toured Arlington. They've even been down to Waco. They're stopping in Oklahoma on the way back. They're just such a delightful couple. And they came down, and it does our hearts well to have you to come. But one thing I found out about Mrs. Rhodey on yesterday as we toured the school was that she's a Christian woman. And I want to speak just for a second to the Christian woman in Mrs. Rhodey. Could you ever have imagined that in 2018, that your family, hundreds of miles away from where you live, would have impacted this community for over 30 years through your Uncle Bebensee? A legacy, an honor, and an impact. And when I thought about 30 years, we have 700 students, over 700 this year, so think 700 times 30. How many families and students and staff members that this family has impacted as far away as they are from Iowa? Could you ever have imagined that you would have gotten a phone call to come down and to be honored on behalf of your uncle and the impact that your family has made in the United States? Wow. So I'd like for her to, I'd like for her to have some words. Come over. Have a few words, because you didn't come this far not to say anything. We are simply honored. We are honored. I'll stand with you.
Thank you. He just went and sat down because he knows I'm not a public speaker. I'm so thankful that Susie Love and the faculty here tracked us down and contacted us and invited us to be with you tonight. It's such an honor to be here. The people we met yesterday are just wonderful. We had such a good time touring the school. The facility is awesome, and you're doing such wonderful things here. I'm really proud to have our family name connected to your school, and I know my uncle would be too. Thank you.
30 years of a school. And we are so blessed in Arlington. And these students here at Bebensee are so fortunate, because for 30 years, this school, and we have a lot of schools in Arlington, but we're here about Bebensee. 30 years of love, of support, of nurturing, of guiding, of leading the way for so many students over the years. And when you think of the impact of a school, and the school, the facility is one thing. The most important part of any school is what happens inside that building. And for 30 years, up until like right now when this wonderful choir was singing, kids come together and adults interact with students to create the magic of learning, of love, and of something greater than today. And we can never know the true impact of a school, ever, because so many lives are affected by it. And all the people that have gone through Bebensee have built a culture and a legacy here that is so special. And in Arlington, we love to honor our namesakes, and we're glad that we were able to locate you and that you're able to join us here today, because it makes it that much more special. Because in Arlington, we name buildings after people. It's not a number, it's not an address, it's a person. Because we know that the human connection that happens in a school is the magic that carries it forward. And so congratulations to Bebensee. Let's give a round of applause to all the staff members that are working here at Bebensee. And all our wonderful students with that leadership, that courage, and that love that they have. And we're so proud of Bebensee. I am so proud, Charlotte, of you and your staff and the things that you're doing here. Just really amazing in Arlington. And so I also have the opportunity to introduce and recognize some people that are very significant in the success of Bebensee and Arlington ISD. So I'll start with our school board members who are able to join us here today. Ms. Polly Walton, school board member. Melody Fowler, school board member. And our school board president, Dr. Aaron Reich. So it's through the leadership and guidance of a school board and the vision for an entire school district that a lot of things are possible. And so I thank you publicly, the board members who are able to join us here today, for your service and your dedication to our students and Bebensee Elementary in particular. Also able to join us here today are great representatives from the city of Arlington. So I'll start with our Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Michael Glaspie. Mr. Glaspie used to serve on the school board. He used to be school board president at one time. Every time we're together, I say a thank you for many years of service, Mr. Glaspie, so thank you so much. Also joining us tonight, and we're very fortunate to have him here as well, is our own mayor, Mr. Jeff Williams. And so once again, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to continue the program. On behalf of your superintendent, thank you for your support of Bebensee Elementary and support of AISD. So I'll turn it back over to our principal. Thank you.
Representing the principals who have led this campus for 30 years is our very first principal of Bebensee Elementary, Dr. Malcolm Turner. Along with Dr. Turner, we also have Mr. Walkinshaw is here, Mr. Dillard. Thank you guys so much for coming, and Dr. Turner is going to speak on behalf of former principals.
When I first arrived at Bebensee, I had hair. I'm not sure where it went after that, but I find it's a pleasure. Not a whole lot physically has changed. I have had the opportunity to tour the building, some of it, to see what changes have come about. But the most memorable things I'd share with you this evening will be my interactions with Mr. L.R. Bebensee. I met Mr. Bebensee right after the facility was named, and we got introduced. He and I came together and had the opportunity to tour the building, both of us in hard hats, and we made the front page, bobbing, weaving, and ducking, because things were falling and flying around. But we came into the building after all. The contractor says, "What are you doing here?" And we said, "We own the building." So we're coming to see it. I'll share with you that Mr. Bebensee was a very demure, kind gentleman, very quiet. But at the dedication for the school, he was roasted by one of his teachers, Weeda Wright. And she told some interesting tales about Mr. Bebensee that took place at the school, some that were repeatable in public. But I'll share with you that his teachers at Bailey loved him. His wife, whom I got to meet, that sat right in that chair where Dr. Cavazos is sitting, that I had the pleasure of meeting and had the pleasure of interacting with. Bebensee was my second principalship, but my first dedicatorial school. I was so nervous. Maybe I sweated all my hair out that day. I'm not sure. But I had 3x5 cards, of which I had an outline. You know, we always did outlines as we spoke. And as I was we were underway, and I was preparing to introduce Mr. James Martin, Superintendent of Schools at that time. And as I left the lectern, my card stuck to it. And as I tried to pull them away, they fell on the floor. And Mr. Martin stood up and slowly walked toward me and started to bend down. And I said, no, please don't do that. And he picked them up, organized them on the podium, making tapping noises, handed them to me, patted me on the shoulders, and said, "I've always had to help Malcolm." So that got me off to a great start. But I'll let you know that that day was a wonderful day. It was the opportunity for 3 schools to come together under one roof. And we all came together with one focus and one idea. We were child-driven. We were child-centered. We let the students know that. The teachers it was ingrained in the teachers. We ingrained it in the parents. And we proceeded to do education. We said, wherever you came from, that's fine, but you're at a new location now, and we need you to know what our function and what our goals are. And we began to set the ground rules and the roots for what has come about at this location. I'm very proud of it. I think Bebensee has done quite well over the years. I look forward to more interaction with the faculty and staff, and I'll share with you that I have a pictorial dedicatorial book that shows pictures of the stage and of the reception of Mr. Bebensee and Mrs. Bebensee and everyone, and I'll bring that to share with you, and I'd like to dedicate it to the school as a part of your memorabilia, okay? All righty. Congratulations.
I would like to recognize my area superintendent who's present tonight. My area superintendent supports me in my growth as a principal. She is on my speed dial. She responds immediately. She comes to the campus. She will sit with me for hours. We sat one evening and took up, I think, 4 hours from her, my AP and I, and we just laughed and talked and had a wonderful time. And I am so thankful to have someone like that who will talk to me, who will guide me, who will support me, and also who will cheer this school on when she's away from the school. And I love you, Beth. Thank you for the support you've given me. Thank you for growing me, and I hope that you'll continue to be with me because I depend on you a lot. Would you stand so they can see you? This is Beth Hollinger, my area superintendent.
I did attend Bebensee Elementary from 2002 to 2008. I do remember a lot of the traditions that went on at Bebensee Elementary that still go on today, such as Film Day, the Bebensee Bobcat song that we sing every Friday, so I remember word for word. Yes. I also remember my favorite subjects, language arts, college time, as well as reading, and I was always a volunteer to read. I wanted to read dramatically, I wanted to read proud. So when teachers needed me to speak, that was going to be me. But students, I know that we can relate when we have some subjects that we may struggle with. And this is when, looking back, I realized that the teachers here at Bebensee Elementary were passionate about my success and seeing me achieve. When they could have let me struggle, they provided me with opportunities to go tutoring. They provided me with books to take home and read once I got here. And looking back, when I say opportunities, it was a choice to read once I got home, and it was a choice to go to tutoring instead of recess. And students, I believe it's our responsibility to follow through with the support and the resources and tools that were given to us, to take that initial step to achieve our path. Looking back, I believe my teachers acted more so as my light. So they were my light. They said, I'm your light. This is the path. Are you willing to go? And I did. Fast forwarding, I'm now at Tarrant County Community College, and I am the evening service for Phi Beta Kappa, which is a 2-year honor society. Yes. Now, how did I achieve my grades and maintain that level? By using my resources, which Bebensee prepared me to do. So I believe I was wired to be struggling, find a resource, and achieve. That's what my teachers here at Bebensee Elementary taught me. Moving forward, I'm now at the University of Texas at Tyler, a business major, and this time, yes, I used my resources, but what really helped me achieve was my support. Support from my friends, my family, my teachers, and professors that followed me throughout my journey going forward. And so at this time, I would like all of my teachers, my professors, my mentors, family, and friends, to please give them to be acknowledged. I would like to say thank you for following me throughout my journey, and thank you for being the light that I needed to find my path. Now I am a manager at Sherwin-Williams. I help manage a $1.3 million store, and that is thanks to you. Thanks for continuing to follow my dreams and my goals.
Good evening. My name is David Dotter, your announcer. The Bebensee News team is preparing the stage for our broadcast. While they are preparing, I want to share a few facts about toys during Mr. Bebensee's lifetime. The teddy bear were made in 1920. The slinky were made in 1940. In 1960, we have the invention of slip and slide. Hope you like our Hope you like our production. Now take it away, news team.
Welcome to Bebensee News. My name is George Rosales. Thank you for joining me today. Our top news story for today is about Mr. Leo R. Bebensee. He inspired and encouraged teachers and students. He greeted his students every morning with his award-winning smile. That was his signature trademark of his personality.
Hello, I am Rayma Daniel, your news anchor. Mr. Bebensee was born in 1920. Did you know that the price of gas was only 30 cents a gallon? Wow, today's gas prices are as much as $2.93. Now here are some other interesting facts from 1920. Bread, 12 cents a pound. Butter, 70 cents a pound. And coffee, only 47 cents a pound. Folks, I know you want to pay those great prices today, but we can only dream about them.
Good evening. I'm Yasmin Asamoah. Our story continues about Mr. Bebensee. His positive attitude made it so easy for students and teachers to talk to him about their problems. Yes, he was a great listener and a brilliant problem solver. He knew how to use wisdom and remain calm in every situation. Here is Enrique Garcia with the weather.
I am meteorologist Enrique Garcia. In 1920, the temperature was 52 degrees. Coming up next, we have footage of Mr. Bebensee as a child, high school student, and an adult. Please stay tuned.
Hello, my name is young Leo Bebensee. I guess you can tell by my adorable face. I really enjoyed playing outside. Wait, this is 2018. Do you still play outside? Probably not. You have games that you can hold in your hand. Well, during my childhood, playing outside, that's how every child spent his or her day. Life indeed was simple.
Hello there. One of my fondest memories was of my high school math teacher. He really knew how to make me understand math in a simple way. I did not feel of it as learning math. I learned practical things that involve math. Here's an example. If gas was priced at 10 cents a gallon, how much would you have paid for 10 gallons? Well, that's $1. I bet you would like to pay that today. So stop for a moment. Think about those teachers that inspired you. Here's to teachers. Your love and care has transformed me.
My, has time passed? I am well into my 60s, and I am as strong and healthy as in my 20s. I served my country in the Navy during World War II. I earned a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Young folks, I would like you to know that the military and education have really prepared me. I've always readied myself by reading books, and books. I know this is 2018, and that you have ebooks, but just make sure that you're reading them. Now here's my last point. Always treat others the way that you would like to be treated. And in the words of the former radio pioneer Paul Harvey, he would end the day by saying, "Good day."
Action News 2 continued. Kionis, thank you for joining us. Today we are going to spotlight on some of the books that were published during the 1920s. From the pages of a bear whose best friend is a little boy, from eating honey and playing with his friends in the woods. We have Winnie the Pooh. Yes, it was published during the 1920s.
Hello, I'm Linda Wynn, your news anchor. Another all-time favorite for children is a story about a rabbit who wants to know what is real. A wise old horse gives this rabbit some advice. It is a thing that happens to you when a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with you, but really loves you. You may have guessed the story. It is the story of the Velveteen Rabbit. I am meteorologist Kaya Wynn. Today's weather is sunny, no chance of snow, a high of 72 degrees and a low of 49 degrees. Here is Zoe Daniel to close our broadcast with a quote.
To close our broadcast, I have 3 quotes by Walt Disney in honor of Mr. L.R. Bebensee. Quote number 1, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Quote number 2, I think it's kind of fun to do the impossible. Quote number 3, I can only hope that we never forget one thing, that was all started by a mouse. Thank you for joining our broadcast.
Don't
But I want to say to them, thank you so much for all of the hours of work that you put in and for pulling all of us together and pulling our shirt tails and for the perfection. I thank you for the perfection at which you did this. Perfect. Thank you for your work. And I want to present you with some flowers. And to the entire committee, thank you for working with them and working as a team. You made their work easier by putting our hands together. And I'd like to thank each one of you again for being here tonight and making this a special event. I will say that as a new principal, I went around last year because I knew this year was coming, and I visited other campuses when they had their anniversary celebrations. I want to say this has been phenomenal. Top of the line, Bebensee, top of the line. Thank you.
Bebensee's the place.